All right, started the recording. Call this meeting of the Fire Station Building Committee to order. It's Tuesday, February 4th. The time is 4:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Bill Ulick,
Present.
Jeff Matthews,
Present.
Dave Langevin,
Present.
Mike Langevin,
Present.
Mike Julian,
Present.
and John Shugda, all here.
Okay. Approval of the minutes from January 21st. Are there any errors or omissions to the minutes that need to be adjusted?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who was that, Mike and Dave?
Mike and Jeff Matthew.
Oh, okay.
All right. Item number 3, review and approval of action and the development of the project to include but not limited to update on the project status, including the bidding process. Rick, do you want to touch base on that?
Okay, so good evening. We're still online to get the documents out on the street on February 28th. And bidding would start, I think bidding is going to start on March 3rd. I need to get some I don't know if Jennifer just came on. I think that's right. Your drawings will be available to Project Dog on the 28th, and bidding could start as early as March 3rd. Hi, Jennifer. Couldn't quite hear you.
Hi, I know I'm having problems. Okay.
Okay.
I think Deputy Chief, you gave me your sickness virtually previously. So my fever broke last night, but now I'm still here. Sorry.
It's not pleasant. Sorry.
So that sounds about right, though, right, Jennifer? Documents done by the 28th, and bidding will start on the 3rd.
Documents done by the 28th, and then I think they would be live on the 5th.
5th, live on the 5th. Okay.
Because
time to set 'em up.
Project Dog needs a couple of days before
Okay.
they can be live.
And had you contemplated, are we going to go 3 weeks with filed subs and another 2 for GCs?
That's what I was thinking. I think that's the same track we had last time. So I was going to follow the same track and just
Okay.
update the dates. Unless there's a recommendation to go to a different time frame.
I think that's fair. That's pretty standard. So that would, and there may be, we have bids due next Thursday on a project, and we got a request from a couple of contractors to extend it a week. So we're going to extend it a week only because we want to get as many bidders as possible on that project. So excuse me, that would put us at filed sub bids due on the 26th of March, and then the GC bids due on the 9th of April. And as we get a little bit closer, I'll put together a schedule and send it around to everybody. But Jennifer's working on a invitation to bid document right now. Jack, I'll get that over to your office. We will post on the Central Register for you, and if you guys can do combis and the local newspaper, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be fine. While you're talking about bids, if I could, Deputy, I still need to revisit this Selfridge build, the builder's risk, because our insurance carrier has recommended that we take this out of the actual bid and have it that we will secure our own builder's risk.
Yeah, I'd have to check and see how the documents are structured right now, Jennifer. And Jack, you and I were gonna circle back and I wasn't
Yeah.
available and, have
Right.
you talked to your insurer at all?
Oh, they just sent me an email today regarding this.
Okay,
So they said, they sent us a questionnaire.
Okay.
And they did Woburn and Northbridge projects, fire station projects
Mhm.
for the owner's builder's risk. So we could connect you with them. So perhaps either later on after this, or you give me a call, we can coordinate that.
Okay, sure. How about if I give you a call tomorrow morning? Is that all right?
Yeah, I will be available. Let me just, because I get budget meetings going. But let me
Okay.
just see what time was be good. So if you can call me around 8:30, otherwise I'm in budget meetings all the way to 2:30.
All right, I'll call you at 8:30.
3 o'clock, depending on how long I keep the fire chief, because he's the end of the day.
The only reason I was hesitant with, it seems like the carriers that have been representing the municipalities lately have been way out of whack with costs. But what we've been seeing in the last several months is that the quotes that the GCs are getting are starting to increase as well, and they're leveling off. But the insurance rates are through the roof, where you could get a builder's risk policy for $20,000 or $30,000, 3 years ago. It could be upwards of $60,000 to $90,000 now. We just bound a policy for the town of Swansea. It was $110,000.
Oh.
I was like, wow, matches upstairs.
We can go from there. We can talk about it in the morning, I guess.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Anything else on the bidding process?
No, we have to circle back. Jennifer and I have been in light communication, but the soil management plan is Ty and Bond has all of their test bits, obviously, and they're modifying their soil management plan, and we need to bring that full circle for the bid documents. So we'll be working on that over the next week. And I had not heard back from Ty and Bond after the test bits, but no news is good news from my perspective. Normally, if they have an issue, yes, Mike?
I just want to know the time. Is the timetable still okay for our town council meeting? If you said, beginning April 9th, for the GCs, when do we open the bids for the project?
On April 9th.
On April 9th?
Yeah.
Okay, and that gives us time for the town council meeting, Jack?
Well, I mean, we open the bids and then we review the bids, and then we would have a proposal to go to council to sign a contract. But it's going to be a little bit of work there. We'll make it work with the town council. Yes.
All right, so we can get
Okay.
that in before late June?
Oh, once we get the bids, then we'll see what the bids are, and then develop where we're
Right.
going to council. So
Okay,
not a problem. It's going to go to council. Chairman Lazo yesterday was very much that this is a project that has to be done. So,
okay, good,
all right.
thank you.
All right.
I was
so
hoping
that's
we'd start construction by June 1st. We just do want to try to get in, we want to get the permit going so that we don't have to go to 10th edition. We are under 9th edition still. And that's the end of June. So I want to make sure that we can have our permit before the end of June is one thing. And I thought that timeline would work. I understand you do need to go to town council. I was hoping bids on April 9th would give you the time for us to review bids and go to town council and get things moving.
Oh, absolutely. We'll get it. Yeah, as soon as we just got to get the bids. Let's get to the bids, and
Yep.
then we'll make it happen the way it has to happen.
Good. Thank you.
So that's end of June, right, Jennifer, deadline?
The deadline for permit is June 30th. If we don't get in before that, we would have to do some redesigning potentially for the 10th
Yep.
edition. We don't want to go there.
Okay.
Jennifer, have you had any feedback from Jake Nunemacher?
No.
Okay.
Was he supposed to reach out to me directly?
Yeah, I mean, he was the one who was going to be looking at the Bloom Bean package and
Right.
doing a third party. So I'll touch base with him.
Thank you.
All right, Rick, do you want to go right into the results of the pre-qualification? I'll kind of take it out of order and then go to the tank, or do you want to deal with the
Sure,
tank?
I can do that quickly. I don't know if it got distributed, but we had we had a follow-up pre-qualification meeting last week, and we have the accepted general contractors and filed subcontractors, and those documents, hopefully everybody got those. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 general contractors that have been accepted as pre-qualified. And I don't know what the number of filed subcontractors in, but it's 14 pages deep. So good results. And we were able to streamline the process a little bit, which is good. And all of the contractors have been notified. The committee, the subcommittee we had set up to do this last week voted on the results that were presented to them. And we have issued that to biddocs.com, and all of the contractors have received their acceptance notifications. They are also aware of our bidding schedule. So we seem to be in good shape.
Any questions or follow-up on the pre-qualification? Mr. Manager?
Yeah. Rick, how did this line up to the last time with general contractors? Is this more, same?
I believe we had 9 the last time.
Any additional ones that are on the list this year that are quality that may presumably bid that weren't on the last time?
A couple of names that weren't on the last one that are on this one that we're familiar with. Boston Building and Bridge is on. They weren't on the last one. They were too busy at the time. M. O'Connor Contracting is also on the list. They weren't on the list last time. They were too busy. I think Sterling Construction, who is probably the closest general contractor to your area, is now on the list. They were on the last time. So we've got the business is not as good as it was 2 years ago, a year ago.
Fontaine Brothers too? Aren't they doing Spencer High School? Is that
I don't know, but
Fontaine?
I don't know what their what projects they have on the way, but I think they were on the list last time, but did not bid.
Okay.
All right, and I don't know whether or not everyone's been passed on or not, but Charlton did open their bids this past week. They were $2 million under estimate, including all of the ad alternates that they had. So things were positive from their perspective.
Right. Well, as my good friend Dean burst my bubble, he said, well, that's probably just they had a bad estimator. I said, geez, thanks, Dean. Way to burst my bubble, Dean.
Yeah. All right, so if there's no other questions with the pre-qualification, obviously, unfortunately, during the soil management plan test pits, we did find an undocumented underground storage tank on the 129 Worcester Street property. So in the interim, I have sought quotes from 4 different vendors. I did pass those along to you. Out of the 4 quotes, the low bid was Oil Recovery Corp, and their bid was for $5,230 to remove the tank. The high bid was $7,445, and that was from NEDT. There were a couple in the middle, about $6,400. So with the bids that I have in front of me, Oil Recovery Corp they put a submission in when we had all the waste oil removed from the original property, but they were higher at that point. So I believe they have also done work with Ty and Bond in the past as well, and they're familiar with them as an LSP. So my recommendation onto the floor would be entertain a motion to allow the town manager to secure a contract with Oil Recovery Corp in the amount of $52.30 for that tank removal.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mike Langevin, Jeff Matthew. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, seeing none, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Bo Ulick,
Yes.
Jeff Matthews,
Yes.
Dave Langevin,
Yes.
Mike Langevin,
Yes.
Mike Julian,
Yes.
John Sugden, all in favor.
Okay.
Joe, who was
Motion
that? Which one was that going to?
It's Oil Recovery Corporation.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want me to send that over to you and Joe?
I will send the signed document over to you, or actually, you actually probably already have it, right, Jack?
I just printed it off. Where do you want me? You want me to send it to you and you forward it off, Joe?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
All right, so the next item to go along with this is obviously that is the removal of the tank. This requires the services of a licensed site engineer. Ty and Bond has provided us a quote, which is an amendment to our current contract with them, and they will provide those LSP services, which is essentially they take samples from around where the tank was situated and some of the materials within the tank, and then depending on what the results are from those, makes it whether or not it's reportable to DEP. Based on the initial information we had is that there was clean water in the tank. So hopefully there will not be any additional things that need to be done, but we do need to have the LSP. So Ty and Bond's contract amendment number 2, and it is in the amount of $3,500, $3,500. We entertain a motion to allow the town manager to amend the contract with Ty and Bond.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mike Langevin, Jeff Matthew. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Bo Ulick,
Yes.
Jeff Matthews,
Yes.
Dave Langevin,
Painfully, yes.
Mike Langevin,
Yes.
Mike Julian,
Yes.
John Sugden, all in favor.
Okay, unanimous. All right, we already discussed the status of pre-qualification. There is no new information on funding sources for the fire station project at this point. I do have 2 new invoices to discuss. The first one is Pomeroy Associates. Invoice is dated February 3rd, 2025. Invoice number 21-106-017 in the amount of $11,675, and this is for services from 1/1/24 to 1/31/25.
So moved.
Okay, motion Dave Langevin,
Second.
second Jeff Matthew. Any discussion on the motion?
What does that work for?
I'm sorry?
That's a week's worth of work? What was that for?
No, it's a year's worth of work.
of work.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. I'm like, man, I got to get into tank removal and all of that.
I tell you what, my accountant, when she did the invoice, she said, "Man, we're getting well, forget it. I can't say it live yet.
All right, so if there's no other discussion, roll call, please.
Joe Ulick,
Yes.
Jeff Matthews,
Yes.
Steve Langevin,
Yes.
Mike Langevin,
Yes.
Mike Julian,
Yes.
Glenn Shugda, all in favor. Motion passes.
Okay, motion passes. And the final invoice that I have is Bose Associates invoice number 21041.00-20 dated January 29th, 2025 in the amount of $2,000. And this is
So moved.
professional services through the end of January 31st. And Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, this is for the pre-qualification.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Joe Ulick,
Yes.
Jeff Matthews,
Yes.
Steve Langevin,
Yes.
Mike Langevin,
Yes.
Mike Julian,
Yes.
Glenn Shugda, all in favor. Motion passes.
Okay. The only thing I forgot to pass on was with Oil Recovery Services is they anticipate middle of February being able to remove that tank, and they will coordinate their efforts with Ty and Bond, so the LSP will be on site for that. We do not have any other thing else at this point, so discussion of the next meeting, we're looking at the 18th. And actually, I'm going to be gone the 18th. Can we do it another day that week, or can we push it out another week?
You want to go to the 25th?
Yep.
Yeah, if there's no objections, let's go to the 25th.
So I have a question.
Yep.
This probably goes back 2 years ago. Remember during the COVID era, we were having problems with the electrical switch thing? Is that still a problem out there?
Potentially, yes, but at this point, it's all within the main document package.
Okay, so there still could be a possibility of waiting for that.
Oh, I see what you're saying, the delivery delays. We haven't had in 2 years now, we haven't had issues with switchgear. We haven't had issues with transformers on any of our projects. So I tend to think that the delay issues have sort of gone by the wayside. I don't know, Jennifer, if you had any experience with delays?
I haven't heard of any delays recently. Yeah, mine was probably about 2 years ago and we were having problems, but haven't seen anything since.
Is that something that that you as the architect and Rick, you as the OPM can kind of maybe push the GC to make those orders early if possible?
Oh, yeah, and the electrical contractors are right on top of it because they don't want to experience these delays either. So they usually pick all of their on lead time items right up front and get those submittal process going.
I just had a comment on that.
Chief?
So a project that I was working on in town here in Southbridge, in discussion with the most recent vendor that we use for a generator, the timeline has pretty much been split in half. We waited almost 21 months for the generator we ordered for the senior center. This one is just around 10 to 12 months, and that was 4 months ago. So I think we're in a good place to be, as long as, like you said, the electrical contractor's right on it right away.
I do have one more question too.
Yes, David, go ahead.
With the current president right now, with the tariffs and he's backing off, will that affect our building project at all on any supplies?
that's, no, we don't have a crystal ball on that one.
It's possible.
Okay, so it's kind of a wait and see on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, look at, you know, the tariffs were claimed and then they were pulled away, and so I don't know.
Okay.
I think that
I guess
maintaining the tariff.
one way to look at it is potentially, because I want to say it was either Eaton or Square D for the electrical components, is one of their factories is in Mexico, so certainly a possibility there, but depending on where they get their product from.
Okay. That's the only reason I was asking these questions. If we have to try to be proactive, if we see it going the other way.
I'm not sure what we can do to advance things except for push, you know, not extend bids. But we can't really push the timeline too much quicker. We need the time to get the documents ready. We've all had to fit these documents into schedules with other projects that we've had. You know, this one was shelved, so other things come up. There's other projects, and we typically work on big, long projects. So we need time to get that into our schedule. We certainly have started the work on rebidding this project. We have various people in the office that are doing parts of it, specifications, checking discontinued products, all of that stuff. But still, we need a little bit more time to be ready for February 28th.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
If nobody has anything else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 See you on the 25th.